Common PC parts and their basic functions. The main purpose of a PC case isn't just to look cool. It serves a function to mount all the parts and also cool everything. A case needs proper airflow so the system doesn't overheat. Lots of times the case will come with an intake and outtake fan to help with flow. A case can be compared to a house. A house is a structure to hold everything inside, and it also has to provide good airflow. The motherboard is what makes a PC work. It allows all the parts to work together properly. It is the backbone of the PC. The definition is that it's the main printed circuit board within a computer, which basically means it makes the PC cohesive. Every other part of the PC connects to the motherboard. If the motherboard isn't working, then nothing is. This is the brain of the PC. The central processing unit contains all the circuitry to carry out all the functions and instructions given, including input and output processes, storing data, and other arithmetic and logic operations. The CPU is made up of billions of transistors. This is what allows CPU to perform binary functions because transistors act as a switch, on or off, 1 or 0. The two main parts of a CPU is arithmetic logic unit, ALU, and the control unit, CU. The CU gets the instructions from memory, RAM, and decodes them into commands. Then the ALU takes over and executes and stores it into main memory. You might hear the word cores thrown around when talking about CPUs. A core is a unit in the CPU that can run different processes and they can work separately. So the more you have, the faster your PC will run because you can run more tasks or processes. The graphical processing unit is the creative side of the brain, or creative side of the CPU. It helps render graphical user interfaces (GUI) into pleasing images and designs shown on your monitor rather than seeing ugly black and white lines. The GPU handles all the demands for graphics-intensive functions on a computer, which is why for gamers this is a big part of their performance and it's why they are sought after. There are two different types of GPUs, integrated and discrete. Integrated GPUs are built into the processor and share memory with the CPU, which is beneficial for thinner and lighter systems, less power consumption, and lower cost. A discrete GPU is separate from the CPU. It has its own dedicated memory so it can perform more functions faster. This comes with a cost though because it produces more heat, consumes more power, and is expensive. Random access memory is a computer's short-term memory. It stores the data that is currently being used by the processor so it can be accessed faster. When you open an application or program, the computer loads it into your RAM. You get near instantaneous performance with the data that's now in your RAM because of how fast it is. When you save something, the data gets copied into your long-term storage, including your hard drive. If you close out of an application, the data gets wiped from the RAM to free up space because the RAM is intended for temporary memory. The more memory you have in your RAM, the faster it runs because it has more space for more processes. A hard drive is long-term memory storage that stores all sorts of data. However, it is much slower to access the memory compared to the RAM because the hard drive's main purpose is to store a lot of information rather than focusing on quicker access. The hard drive contains a spinning platter with a thin magnetic coating. A head moves over the platter which writes ones and zeros on tiny areas. There are two areas of the platter, north and south, because the hard drive uses magnets. It uses this method because it's very stable compared to other methods because magnets will stay in orientation once set unless something acts upon it. To read the data back, the head goes to the same spot, notices the north and south flying by, and deduces the stored ones and zeros. A solid-state drive is a faster type of storage device compared to a hard drive. An SSD doesn't have any moving parts. It has a flash controller and flash memory chips, which makes the performance higher, and data is stored on an integrated circuit. Although SSD is faster, quieter, and lasts longer, they are more expensive right now. SSD cost is a lot more per storage than other hard drives. Wireless adapters allow computers to connect to the internet and to other computers. The adapters send data to routers that then pass it on to networks via radio waves. Of course, a PC needs power to run. It converts alternating current, AC, into direct current, DC. The power supply then has integrated connectors to send power to the motherboard where the power is distributed.